Okay, so, all right, classroom, we have tasted plain paper, and we have also tasted PTC. So now we're going to go ahead and go through our lesson, Activity 2.1, together. And we will fill this out together, and then you will fill this out as we go through this. All right, so lesson LS3, Activity 2.1, are traits connected. You should have that open on your Chromebook now. What we will do is we will determine whether there is a connection between an inherited trait and the preference for certain foods. I'm recording this so that I can post it to Chromebook or Classroom later so that you can watch this later. But right now you should be filling this out with me in class. All right, so we have our do now today asked us if we like broccoli, if we like asparagus. And I do not have Brussels sprouts, but we are going to talk a little bit about Brussels sprouts today. And then next week when we come back to revisit this activity, I will try to have Brussels sprouts here for you. All right, so your prediction, what you should fill out in your lesson for prediction is, do you think the preference for certain foods is inherited or acquired? And then just highlight the best choice, whatever you think. Inherited, remember that inherited means that you have that trait that you like certain foods from your parents. So if your parents like the same foods as you could come to that conclusion. If you have noticed that you like different foods than your parents, then you might come to the conclusion that your preference for certain foods is acquired. Or you can come to the conclusion that they're both inherited and acquired, because maybe you didn't like them at first, some of the foods that your parents ate, but then after time you did start to like those. So maybe they're both. And then, of course, in your assignment, you're going to explain your choice. Now, going on to the procedure, you're going to answer the questions below. Have you ever tasted Brussels sprouts? It's a yes or no question. Do you like the taste of Brussels sprouts? That is a yes, no, or you maybe haven't tasted Brussels sprouts, so you can answer to be determined since you haven't tasted Brussels sprouts before. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you like them, maybe you won't. Describe the taste only if you have tasted them. They're either salty, sweet, sour, bitter, or umami. And what is umami? Umami is the fifth taste. The fifth taste is a newer taste that's recently been discovered by scientists to be something that your taste buds can pick up. We've always known that salty, sweet, sour, and bitter are tastes that your tongue can detect. Now we have discovered another fifth taste that is called umami. That is similar to soup broth, cooked meats. It is the actual flavor of glutamate, which is found in a lot of Asian cooking. Next. Oh yeah, by the way, that's what Brussels sprouts looks like. They look like little cabbages. Okay, procedure number 2. In this step, you will taste 2 pieces of paper. We did this. The first one was a plain piece of paper with nothing on it. The second piece has been treated with a chemical called PTC. So follow your teacher's instructions for tasting the papers and then answer the questions below. So we did this. Did the plain piece of paper have any taste? Should be no. And then, were you able to taste PTC? This could be either yes or no, depending on your genes or your if you have inherited that trait. If you were able to taste the PTC, describe the taste: salty, sweet, sour, bitter, or umami. I gotta put I'll read it to you later. Okay, so now we're looking at raw data. There's a data table here. My animations are a little bit out of order, but you're going to insert the names of everyone in your group on this data table. Then you're going to answer the question for each one of those students. Do they like Brussels sprouts? That's a yes or a no. Or TBD, which stands for to be determined. That means that they haven't tasted Brussels sprouts. They don't know if they like them or not. And then finally, can they taste PTC? Yes or no. Once you have that completed, you can go on to the next table. That would be the group tally. Again, my animations are off. But you're going to put little hash marks there for everyone who likes Brussels sprouts or does not like Brussels sprouts. So if someone in your group has not tasted Brussels sprouts, they cannot be included in this tally. Not yet. Not until we taste Brussels sprouts and everyone has tasted and they know if they like them or not. So you're going to put tally marks for people who like Brussels sprouts, whether they taste PTC or not taste PTC. And then you're going to tally for people who do not like Brussels sprouts, whether they taste PTC or whether they do not taste PTC. So we'll have those tally marks will be there. And they may or may not match what I have here. So you just need to make sure you record accurately. And then we're going to answer our making sense questions. Number one is, based on the data from your group, do you think there is a connection between disliking Brussels sprouts and being able to taste PTC? Explain your answer. So that is for you to answer. You need to come up with this on your own. And it needs to be a complete sentence. And then finally, answer the question after the class discussion about this activity. Now that you have seen the data from the whole class, would you change your answer to question number 1 above and why? Now, we're going to taste Brussels sprouts next week. So when we do taste Brussels sprouts, you will be able to go ahead and decide. Now that you've seen the data for the whole class, would you change your answer to question 1 above and why? That is all that we have today. So we are going to conclude this recording. And you will fill this out, but do not turn it in until we are complete with all the data.